Greetings, tadpoles. Ugh. And it's a Friday night. Here's to no hangovers. So, I'm going to do a book review. Guyan Smith's Cannibals. Let's see, what year was this sucker written? 1986. So that's like a disturbing cover. And in the 80s, they're pumping out these horror novels with some crazy covers, and this isn't the craziest, but to me it's definitely one of the most just gross. So, deep in the mountain caves of Blair Long lurks a band of monsters, half-human creatures hideously mutated after generations of inbreeding. This is the dark secret of a remote highland village, a secret kept safe until a local fisherman builds some holiday chalets to attract tourists. Then the shameful conspiracy of silence is shattered at last, as the horrendous creatures shamble from their lair to mutilate and kill the unsuspecting visitors. So this is only 208 pages. It took me a while to get going. So there's this guy, Geddes. Yeah, he builds these little huts because he wants to make money from tourists. So why would he do that? He knows there's these mutated cannibals in the hills and the mountains that live in the caves. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He builds them. One couple comes, this guy, and he's a teacher, and like his student he ran away with, he left his wife. And they hear the cannibals have always like come around to the small village townsfolk because they came from the village. It says they would inbreed, and then the more uglier mutated ones they would just throw out into the wild, and then they started mating, and then their population grew. They would come around, the people would leave food for them, so they never really took anyone, because like the villagers still considered these monsters like family. Which I don't know, man. If the way to describe him, if your brother looked like that, I don't know. You might have to shoot him. So this guy and his girlfriend, what's his name? Eddie? Because this is weird. Because this is I can't remember a book. There's no main characters in this. Okay, his girlfriend's name is Sarah. Eddie, yeah, his name is Eddie. So they go to this far out of the way place because he wants to hide, because it's such a scandal that he like just took off on his wife with a student like 15, 20 years younger than, maybe she's like 15 years younger than him. So they go to this place, and then like I was like, they're out in the middle of this place. What are they? So they want to hide, but they go up into the mountains. He sees the cave, and he's like an amateur archaeologist, so he wants to just check out the cave. So he goes up. Cannibals get him. His girlfriend's worried about him, and then another family shows up to rent a chalet. Mom, dad, 2 kids, and a dog. So the victims are just coming. And then, long story short, like the son of this family, he goes up to check out the mountains. He gets taken by the cannibals, and it just snowballs into where the girlfriend wants to find her boyfriend, the family wants to find their son. They go up there. The dad sees the cannibals, and oh no, he doesn't. He sees like a big huge cooking pot, where there's cooking something in it. He goes back down with his wife and daughter, And then, like, yeah, there's no main character. Halfway, okay, this book is 208 pages. Almost exactly in the middle is when just all hell breaks loose. The cannibals come down and just start ravaging the village, attacking everybody, killing, and it gets, once it gets to that, it's just nonstop. But then that guy Eddie, his brother, is a police officer. He comes looking for his brother, and he's not introduced till like more than halfway through the book. But I kind of commend Guy and Smith for being able to write a book with no main character. There's the tiniest bit of character development, but yeah, it's weird. Because yeah, there's nobody. Like, even when that first couple came, I was like, this guy's not the main character. The guy who built the chalets, Geddes, he's not the main character. The brother, kinda, because he just takes charge. Like, he's a cop, and he goes up, and well, maybe he's the one who finds the cook pot, or they kick it over, and the human remains spill out. So he's like, we gotta form like a group. We can save these people. You know, my brother and your son. We gotta save them. Plus, we gotta get rid of these monstrosities. We gotta form like a militia. And he knows like the townspeople are gonna help. But then when the cannibals attack, they destroy all the vehicles. And then there's like a high tide that comes in, so they can't leave. So finally, like, we just gotta wait till the tide goes down, and we'll trek out of here, call for help. And then that's the rest of the book, is the cop brother and the family, mom, dad, little girl. They're just trying to get out of there, but the cannibals are after them. Fortunately, they get guns. They're able to defend themselves. And there's a lot of cannibals. I'd say at least 50 or more. And they got webbed hands, I guess webbed feet. They're real pale. I imagine like the Morlocks from the old 50s or 60s Time Machine movie. They have a third eye. And thought it was, he doesn't really go, like a lot of these books, they don't really describe what the monsters look like. For me, I like a good description of a monster. I mean, I don't know how you feel. Of course, like, immediately I think of Lovecraft, who is so vague, but the way he does it is good. A lot of these other writers, including this Guy and Smith, I think he just doesn't really know what they look like. He has a vague... I was listening to like a interview with a writer, and he says, I don't agree with this or like this. He said his characters are real vague, just shadow shapes that he can't really see. Which makes me think of Robby Howard, who, like, I just want to talk about Robby Howard. Like, when I read Robby Howard, I can see it. And I think I've talked about this before, that he has a couple of stories, but there's one story where I'm there. Like, I can see everything that's happening. I'm like, I remember, like, as I was reading it, it was like Time Bandits, or like, I remember I was reading, and I in my mind, and so vividly, they were like Vikings fighting a Pict. No, I mean, actually they were fighting King Cole, and the way he describes the mud, the circle of Vikings roaring and screaming and howling, the thrusts of the sword, and I was like, I was there. I could see it, feel it. I couldn't smell it, but I could see like the mud and the water. Like, it was so vivid, and I don't get that a lot, like from any writers, but just Howard and maybe Lovecraft. Anyway, back to Cannibals. So yeah, I don't think Guy and Smith could really see them. So I was, I'm just gonna create them in my head, but I just kept seeing those Morlocks from the Time Machine movie. The book's pretty gory, and it doesn't go in graphic detail, but you get the idea of what's going on. And then it's just set up. Cannibals attack. Family has to walk out to the next village and get help. So there's no grand finale. There's no like explosive ending. But I wouldn't say it like just dwindles off or peters out. It had an ending, and we're gonna get to it, and I knew what it was. So that was okay. But yeah, it's almost once it gets to page 100, the next 108 pages are just a relentless assault of cannibalism, monsters, blood, guts, introducing more characters till the very end of the book. That's you go to writing jail for that, I think. I really liked how it's just completely different than Hills Have Eyes, Chainsaw Massacre, the Italian cannibal movies. What else? What other cannibalism? There's a movie. I remember I started watching it, but it was like they're like 50s greaser bikers, cannibals, chasing people in the city, and I didn't like that. I don't care that they're cannibals. Like, they're not savage, like semi-inhuman creatures. I don't care. But maybe that was good. Maybe I should have watched it, because that could be interesting. So yeah, these cannibals are just... Diane Smith just created his own little Irish niche of cannibalism monsters. But this is... I don't remember. I bought this not too long ago, but couldn't have been that much. But now this is going for a pretty penny. So I don't know if you do Kindle or whatever. I'm just obsessed with these Diane Smith. Oh my god. There's like Sean Hudson and Harry Adam Knight books. Those are the three and they're the most expensive. Like, I have like one Harry Adam Knight book. I have a couple of Sean Hudsons, and Diane Smith. Like, it's almost pointless to look for his books online. But Cannibals, yeah, if you're into like 80s nasty horror paperbacks, definitely. And maybe just because I'm just so enthralled by his books and the covers and his name and his writing, his like pedestrian, nondescript, generic writing style. But it serves its purpose, and he's like a layman with no imagination. So, but I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5 Manos Hands of Fate. And now on to I'm reading my next reading endeavor is I'm reading, oh my god, Necroscope Metal Zine 38. The guy who does this sent it to me from Poland, and I'm pretty sure I emailed him, but no response, and I'm really glad he sent it to me. But I wish he would, contact me back. So this is 137 pages. This is like a book. I started reading it just I don't know 2 or 3 days ago, and I'm on page 40. Um, the guy who does it, what's this son of a gun's name? He doesn't even give his name, but he really loves like black metal, black death metal, and I don't know. I don't like black metal. I like Bathory, Dissection, and more bands like black death bands that lean towards more death. I just don't like. Just gotta. I just had to realize I just don't like black metal. Maybe Dark Throne, like some Dark Throne, but you know they've strayed so far away from. Anyway, I wonder if I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna find any bands that I like. And I found one. You're hearing them right now. Hellfuck. This is Diabolic Slaughter. Like, I read the review, and he said, okay, I believe black metal freaks would find something interesting here as well. But, well, when you're asking about comparisons, then Overkill and its famous horoscope comes to mind, first of all. But also Exhorter and its slaughter in the Vatican would be a good suggestion. Eventually, many listeners would point out on Destruction or Exodus, I believe. I don't really hear any of that, but I hear that like savage brutality, that Exhorter, Exodus, and the just like the super catchy rhythms that Overkill does sometimes. But even this, I hear a little black metal in the vocals and just overall feel, but definitely just like brutal thrash rhythms and beats and drums. So and at first when I was reading the review as a Hellfuck, I was like, that's such a just again generic name, but they live up to it. Their logo is awesome, and I purchased the download off of Bandcamp. It was $6.66 from Gods of War Productions. Gods, Gods of OV War Productions. Like I typed in Hellfuck on Bandcamp and nothing came up, but if you go to the label, the Gods of War, then you can find it. And I suggest like, and you can't buy just like a song or two. You have to buy the whole album. It's like 10 or 11 songs, and it's $6.66. And if you like it, I would suggest picking it up. I would like to get a CD, but I'm not paying the exorbitant shipping charges from Poland. Maybe if like a U.S. record label does a release, I'd get that. But take a drink to Hellfuck, man. Another band I found was Funeral Whore. Great name, pretty good, just old school American, Swedish death metal. And another band that I didn't listen to them yet, but Funeral Vomit. It's just real heavy, doomy, nasty death. But yeah, this is a tome, man. I'm only on page, like I said, 40. It's 138 pages. English is definitely this dude's second language. But just to write all of this, put it all together, I haven't seen any like spelling mistakes. The layout, just everything, the binding. But maybe I'll review it as I go and review it when I finish it. But man, and he really likes incantation. Okay, so that's what I've been reading. I've been reading, well, that's not all I've been reading, but that's it for now. And